Welcome everyone, this is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about what is going to be the factor in how we keep people close to us, what separates people, and then when we should separate from people. The tribe that we have might not be conducive to our success, to our growth, to our happiness, to our fulfillment, to our life purpose and goal. If we know that the people around us are not beneficial for that goal, should we keep them? It's a $1 million question. Because if we keep the wrong people around us, can we still carry them all the way to the finish line? I'm sure it's possible, but why are you going to give yourself more work? And there's nothing stopping you from reaching the finish line and going back and helping them. That's a different story. But if you're going to run the race and you're going to slow down your own race, your life, and help someone along the way, are you being the best person at that moment? Yeah, I'm sure you're being kind and you're being helpful. But the people around you, your tribe, they might be anchors. Even though they might be good people and they are your friends or acquaintances or family members, they might not be the people you think they are. So today we're going to be breaking down my most recent blog. It's a tune-up series, and we're going to be talking about how to separate from the pack. Now, there's going to be certain times in our life that we're just going to be in cliques. School, especially middle school and high school. College, yes, but you don't have to be in one. And then, of course, when you go to work. Typically at work, you have your team members and maybe you form friendships and bonds and you go out for drinks after for happy hour. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you might keep your same friends from high school and you just keep them your whole life. There's no wrong way to do it. But if you're not getting the results that you would like in life, are you doing it the right way? Are these people in your tribe, in your circle, slowing you down and stopping you from reaching more? So let's take a look at that blog and let's start to dissect how to separate from the tribe if we need to. Alright everyone, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and then also to share this video and our audio to help build an audience of like-minded individuals, because what we're doing here in our tune-up series, the TUS, is going to be, our tune-up series is going to be for people who have a strong mindset already. If you don't have a strong mindset and you're listening to this for the first time, you don't know what a tune-up series is, and you are just behind in the times, this is your first episode, you are going to find this to be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said some of these things. Because the reason is, you should have a strong mindset already. You have to understand, if something is not working in your life, you need to get rid of it. If you go to the hospital and you have an injury somewhere, and the doctor says, okay, we have two choices. You can die or you can cut your leg off. You're most likely going to cut your leg off. All right. Most people are not going to say, I don't want to live without my leg. I'm sure they don't want to live without their leg, but they're going to cut their leg off so they can keep their life. Same thing happens here. How to separate from the pack. The tribe that we grew up with, the friends that we know so well, the family members that we love and care for. Are they helping us in our life? Maybe, maybe not. So if they're not helping us, what do we do about it? Sometimes we have to separate from people, and then from there, we can either make a new tribe, we can bring people from the old tribe, or we can just go solo. Now there's that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We want to make sure we have a good tribe, that we're going together, that we're doing the right things, and we're doing the things that, hey, we are working together as a unit and we're working toward one goal. You're going to find people in your life that, guess what, have good intentions, have good morals and beliefs and values, and also a good ethic of work. So that means that person is going to do what they say they're going to do. However, there's going to be people who just want to get past. They just want to get waved by. They don't want to do any work. Now, if you have a person like that in your circle, you have to ask yourself, are you just doing the work for them? Are you okay with doing the work for them long term? Because I understand if someone's tired or someone needs a little bit of help and you give them a little bit of assistance. But if they're just making it a habit and you have to pick up that dead weight, when is enough? You have to ask yourself, when is enough? When is enough and when do you cut ties? And this blog right here, TUS Part 45, is going to be helping us understand when and how to separate from these people and then the benefits of what happens after. So we're going to be breaking down 4 steps in this blog today. So number 1, understand why separation is needed. Number 2, what do you learn when you are alone? 3, how to form your pack. And then 4, the end results. These 4 steps of how to separate from the pack are going to be an essential factor in your success, in your growth, in your mindset. There's going to be some people who are not going to want to take these steps because guess what? They're nice people. They don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, right? Everyone's so worried about everyone's feelings now. But what about your life? You only get one of them. Are you going to sacrifice your life so someone else can live a mediocre life with you? Because if they're not pushing for 100%, why are they in your circle? I understand there's going to be people who are just maybe depressed and they can have a lot going on and maybe they can't do 100%. Maybe they can do 10%. Maybe they can do 20. But you know from character, you know a person. You can tell from a person. I can tell from a person that's in my circle. And I can say this person is a good person to have in my circle, even though I have to help them, even though they need some assistance. You can see the potential in a person. And then you can see if that person wants to reach their potential. There's a two-factor approach there. Does that person have the potential, which is typically yes, but do they want to reach that potential? And are they doing the things that are evident that they're trying to reach that potential? Sometimes it's no. And as much as I hate to say it, a good portion of people, it's no. I want people to have a good life. I want people to have the nice things and all that stuff. But how can they get it if they have all these anchors in your life? How can you get it if you have all this dead weight weighing you down, stopping you, slowing you down? I can understand if you were maybe in a group of people and you weren't the best and you're with everyone else who just shines, but you're doing your best to make sure you're fighting, and every single day you fight to get a spot in that light. That group is going to see it. They're not going to see you as, oh my goodness, this person is someone who can't do something. This person is worthless in our group. We need to get rid of them. People can tell if you're showing up or if you're not showing up. And for the people who don't show up, they shouldn't be in that group. They shouldn't be in your pack that you create. So let's break down these 4 steps and understand how to separate from the pack and then the end result. When I was writing this blog, the reason why I write blogs is because either I have an idea or just because it's the next step in mindset. Because we do have to understand that our friends are going to be, again, a critical component in whether we make it or we don't make it. We are the result of the 5 to 10 closest people we keep around us. I say 5 to 10 because we have different groups of people. Our 5 top friends might be the high achievers, those high achievers, where every single day they push. Sometimes you need a break from them. Sometimes you're like, man, I am burning out. Let me take a step back. And there's nothing wrong with taking a step back. I want people to understand that if you need to take a break, you understand. The best way to prevent burnout is not to get burnout, right? It's magic. It's magic. I wrote a whole blog and I have episodes on it on the podcast. Do not get into burnout. You do not want to get into burnout because you can be out for a month. You could be out for a year. Who knows how long it's going to take for that burnout to finally get resolved? It is not a good thing. So if you feel like you're burning out with those 5 top people, then that's where our next 5 come in. And those 5 people are going to be the chill people. They want to see us do good. They're doing good too. But they're not on us like boom, 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 boom. Cool. Don't get comfortable there. You want to be in that challenging top 5 as much as you can. I want you to understand that. There's going to be some times when you have to take a step back. Hey guys, I'm working on a project right now. I'm just going to be doing this for probably a couple of weeks. And then after, let's set up a time to meet. Let's go over some of our new projects that we have lined up and talk about some workshops that we have in the pipeline. Cool, right? At least you have notified them. You just didn't go rogue and ghost on them saying, hey, where's Mike at? All of a sudden, he stopped coming to the meetings and all of a sudden he stopped calling and texting. I hope everything's okay, right? Let them know, right? Communication, right? Communicate with those people. Your top 10 might be those 5 people, but then you might have the next 5 people who are going to be good supporters, right? Maybe it could be your spouse. Maybe it could be like a best friend. Maybe it could be like mom and dad, things like that, sibling. Those people can fill you back up. They can support you. Typically, those people want to see you win. Typically. Sometimes you're going to have siblings or parents that are just not good for you. They're toxic. And it's okay that they're toxic. That's their life. But understand they're toxic and understand you don't want that in your life. You say, you know what? I'm going to separate from this. I'll see you around the holiday times. I can deal with you for one day. I can deal with you on Thanksgiving. And I can deal with you on Christmas and on Easter and whatever other holiday you celebrate. So you limit amount of exposure you have with that toxic type of person, that negativity. But you focus on the people who are around you. But the reason why we talk about this is because a lot of people stay in their comfort zone. A lot of people stay exactly where they are. I want you to ask yourself this question, and I don't want you to lie. I want you to ask, how often do you leave your area of residence, right? The place you live. So if you live in a state, for example, if you live in Texas like me, how often do you leave Texas to go some other place? Florida, California, Nevada, New York, wherever, maybe even out of the country. Want to go to Mexico, want to go to Canada, Europe, England, Italy, right? Go to Africa somewhere. We can go anywhere we want. Let me tell you something about people. For some reason, people love to travel. They're like, oh, I would love to travel, but they barely do it. Now, I understand there can be financial commitment to traveling, but you don't have to spend much money to go from your state, if you're in here in America, to the next state and just spend a day or a weekend, maybe a couple $100s. And if you do it right, maybe even less. It just depends on how you want to do it. So we can be travel bugs. We can be international travelers if we want to. We could be national travelers, but yet we don't. Do you know why? Because again, our comfort zone. And that same comfort zone is the same mentality when it comes to our pack. When you are in high school, you have your certain group of friends, typically, and you're like, okay, these are my friends and we're going to hang out. And when you're in the lunch line and after you're in the lunch line, you're looking around, where are my friends sitting? Typically, they sit on the same spot, but sometimes it could be at a different table, depending. You're going to go over to your friends, hang out. Hey guys, how you doing? Eat lunch with them. You do that for the whole school year. You do that for the whole 4 years that you're in high school. That's what you do. And what happens when you do that? You form a connection, right? You form a friendship and bond. But then you have to start to ask yourself this question. And this is where a lot of my work in youth mentoring comes in, because I am helping a lot of high school kids or college-bound kids deal with this aspect. Who are the people around you? Number one, understand why separation is needed. Separation is needed is because not everyone in that group, I can guarantee you, not everyone is going to be 100% for what you want. They might say, that's a great idea, cool, go for it. But the minute you start showing some results and you're ahead of them, they're going to say, oh, this is terrible, this is no good, right? They're going to try to shoot you down. They're going to try to make you feel like crap. And guess what you're going to do? You have two choices. Oh, okay, yeah, like this was pretty bad or something like that, right? Agree with them. Or you could say, okay, all right, nice, whatever, right? Yeah, you can argue too, but like we're getting out of that, right? Because that's not helpful. So, okay, cool, right? This saying passively, I see our relationship right now. That person already is now off the roster of our tribe, off the roster of the pack. They're no longer in the tribe or the pack. They have been expunged. They're done. All right. So now these people are done. They don't know they're done, maybe. You don't have to tell them that they're done. You just move on. People catch on. It is that simple. If you stop texting people, if you stop calling people, all of a sudden they're like, I'm not going to call this person again. I'm not going to keep bothering this person. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to sometimes separate from the people who are not a part of your plan. Now, you do want to have people in your corner that are going to call you out on your ish. They're going to say, hey, you're slacking, right? This idea is stupid. And and this is the reason why. I don't want you to think that every idea you come up with is like, oh my goodness, it's like this is the best idea ever. All right? It's not. Some ideas are not going to be good because we all have blind spots. So we have to be able to see our blind spots. And if we can't see our blind spots, then we need someone who can. Typically, our top 5 is going to be able to tell us, hey, maybe we could do a little bit different. Maybe these are your blind spots here. The way you did that, if we do it this way, we're going to have better results. All right? Let me know if you need some help, right? Support. Sometimes it just might be criticism. Hey, that sucked. Like, really sucked. You're so much better than that. Cool, right? You're going to go home that day feeling defeated, and the next day you're going to show up. That's just how it is. We want those people in our life to call us out, to tell us what's up, but not to weigh us down. There's a difference. Think of if you're trying to move in your life, right? Starting a career, starting a business, and maybe there's a huge financial requirement that you have to fulfill for the business. So guess what? You are trying to scrum up some money. Your best friend from high school, hey, can I borrow $20? I'll pay you back Friday. Okay, give him $20. And then Friday comes, you don't hear anything from him. So you just kind of, say, okay, well, whatever, right? Maybe he's busy. Next week comes, hey, sorry I wasn't able to pay you back. Something came up. I'm in some deep trouble. If you can give me $100, that would be a great help. I can pay you back as quick as I can. Oh, he's my best friend. And, he's helped me out so much. We're going to make up these things. So we say, okay, sure. Now we're down $120. We can choose to keep going, or we can say, you know what, we're done. I tell people to be done. Again, it just depends on the person. Depends on the resources too. For me, especially when I'm working with like youth, if they don't really have a job or they don't really have much money, I say if you want to give your friends money, you can, but then understand that there's a cap. Let's say you get $50 a week from mom and dad. One of your best friends that maybe are in your top 5 in high school, you say, needs $20. Say the cap is $20. You don't have to tell them it's $20. You just say, well, in your head, the cap is $20. Here's $20. Cool. Now, eventually, they're going to ask you for more money or they're going to pay you back. If they pay you back, that's a good sign, right? But $20 stays the cap, even if they pay you back. But if they don't pay you back and they ask for more money, say, sorry, can't do it. I'm still waiting on that 20. Oh, blah, 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 right? You just ended a relationship for $20. You got off lucky. There are people in this world who give their friends, family members, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for whatever reason. I want to start a business. I want to do this. I need a new house or a car, or I need to pay something, right? Whatever. Those people are in deep. They learned the hard way. They're out $10,000 or whatever. That's a big setback for some people. $20, we got off lucky. So you figure out where your limit is. It might be $10. It might be $5. Like, figure out your limit. But then you give it to that person and you just wait. Because if you can get rid of a person in your life, especially someone who is like this toxic like that, like an anchor, or every time they call you, you just look at the phone, you're like, oh man, this person again, he's calling me or she's calling me. And then from there, you can say, I don't want to pick up this phone because then I'm going to have to give them money or I might have to listen to their problems. And I have my own problems. I'm not their therapist. You're not. So we do have to separate from our pack sometimes. And sometimes we have to get up and leave our state. That's what I did. I said, I have to get up from Connecticut. I left Connecticut and went to Texas. The reason why I did that was because comfort was around me everywhere. Everywhere comfort. I had jobs lined up. I had friends everywhere. I had all this support. But I didn't want that support. That support wasn't going to push me past my limit. I needed to push myself. I needed to find new mentors and new people put in my tribe and my pack that were going to push me. So I left the state. It's a brain hack, actually. If you are in your 20s, you should leave your state. You should, not saying you have to. You should leave your state and go somewhere else. So you start a new tribe. You start a new pack. You can get rid of all the fluff. Sometimes you keep people. I'm not saying you don't. Sometimes you might keep maybe your top 2 high school people. I see it all the time. But then I also see that people don't stay with people from high school. I see that too. You get to figure out which option you want. Do you want to bring maybe some of the people who have the same mindsets as you, who are go-getters, who are showing up? Bring them along. Awesome, right? Stay in touch with them. Communicate. See if that communication dies down at any point or at any given time. If it dies down, then you already know. A relationship that you haven't touched in 3 years, if you can go back to it and it's still that same relationship, that's a good relationship. Because the other person is self-sufficient and you're self-sufficient. So that means you're showing up and they're showing up and 2 people showing up, then you're going to have a whole showcase. That sounds like a great place to be. And I want you to be there. But you do have to know how to separate from the packs that you create, the friend groups that you create, the family ties that you have. You need to be able to separate from them at any given point. Oh, you're done. You're done. And it's not a timeout. Oh, you're on timeout. Oh, I'm not talking to you. You're on timeout. You did something that affected me or got me upset. You're on timeout. That's silly. Either they're done or they're not done. Now, if they want to reconcile, cool. You understand, right? And understanding means fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, I'm not going to get fooled again. So we don't allow people to keep on doing stuff, right? Oh, you want to borrow $100? Here you go. Want to borrow $100? Here you go. Want to borrow $100? Here you go. That doesn't make sense. So we don't give them anymore. We cut them off. They're done. Separate from the people. Separate from your pack that is not going to help you in your future or where you are right now. Then we look at step 2, right? When you are alone. This is a tough place to be because a lot of people don't like being alone. But there comes a power in being alone. And for the people who can master being alone, you're going to go places. There is a profound feeling of goodness in being alone. It can be dangerous too. Because once you get comfortable being alone, you don't really want to be around too many people. Because a lot of people got issues. They got their own dramas and it can raise up a lot of red flags in your life. Just because those red flags are up, it doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. They just might have quirks that you might not like. There's nothing wrong with that. You can choose to be around that person, again, temporarily. Maybe they're your top 15 friends, top 20, whatever, right? Understand where they place. Maybe they place really good, maybe they don't. But when you learn how to be alone, You can learn how to be self-sufficient, not need people, even though we do need people. I want you to understand you still need people. But when you can operate by yourself, you can regulate yourself. That means you motivate yourself. That means you're self-sufficient. You don't need help from people. You are standing on your own 2 feet. You're fighting your fight. And then the same people that should be in your group, in your top 5, should be fighting their fight. But the way they're fighting their fight is that everyone has their back with each other and they're fighting outwards. That means the people that have surrounded you, the problems that have surrounded you, the difficulties and the challenges and the circumstances that have surrounded everyone in your group, you're a team now. You are fighting together, even though you might not see them, even though they might not come to your aid when you need help. They're there. They're handling their business because they might be tied up when you're tied up. But then you're going to also notice sometimes when you're tied up and they're not tied up, they will come save you. They will come help you. But don't wait to be saved. Understand your power. Learn how to tap into that. Then we go into step 3, right? How to form that pack, right? Those 5 people. We have talked about those 5 people the whole entire podcast. And guess what? We have given already a few examples of how we can find those people. The best way to find those people is to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. There's also a caveat to that. Those like-minded individuals have to be growth-minded individuals. Because you can be surrounded by fixed-minded individuals, and it doesn't mean, oh, everyone's fixed-minded. Look, everyone has the same like mindset as me. Guess what? You're just in woke culture at this point, right? You are in the political correct society of wokeness, and everyone who's like an activist and supporting all of these matters and all these issues that are not issues, so be it, right? Fixed-minded. Not saying that they can't be growth-minded. Growth-minded is just saying we're looking at what we can do, and we're not just simply, oh, I'm going to protest. Oh, I'm going to be upset. Oh, I'm going to do a hunger strike. I understand that. I'm not saying that it doesn't have some points. But when we're talking about your tribe and the people around you that are going to push you to be more in your life, it's not about being an activist. It's about looking at your life and looking at your purpose and then going with that. If your purpose is changing some type of regulations and laws, okay, right? Surround yourself with people. But if you're in that type of situation, you're going to surround yourself with enemies too. All right. You're going to surround yourself with people who are going to eventually die down from the hype, right? A trend eventually ends. So I always caution people when they are surrounded by people like that to understand that those people are probably not going to be long term. This is going to be a short term type of thing. But again, everyone should live their own life. But in the sense of mindset, personal development, not talking about all that wokeness stuff over there. Let's talk about just good mindset, right? Those 5 people. Those 5 people should be able to support you. They should be there to listen. Even if they have a busy schedule, they should be there to listen at some point. For example, a lot of people want to talk to me. I don't talk to everyone. Everyone wants to have a meeting with me. I don't have a meeting with everyone. Everyone wants to work with me. I don't work with everyone. I just don't have the time. But if someone, maybe in my top 5, a mentor, right? Someone who I'm learning from calls me and says, hey, we need to talk. Okay. Maybe I have a meeting coming up and I'm like, all right, what's going on? They might say, all right, you're running this program and it's going to interfere with something that I have going on and I don't want that to happen. I said, okay, well, what can we do about it? You want me to change the day, change the time, something like that, right? If we can change the day or something like that, that would be cool. I'll say, okay, great. Is there any way I can attend your event then and maybe be a speaker? Guess what? I just inserted my way in there a little bit. Yes or no, right? Now, I'm testing that individual too. I'm giving you something, right? You asked me for a favor and I'm asking for a favor too. Are we going to work this out? Now, it might be an event where maybe they don't need my mindset. Cool, right? I understand, right? I'm not going to ask if I know the event is not my event. But if it is close to it, why not try? So I'm going to ask and we're going to see yes or no, right? So if it's a no, okay, cool. Not a problem. If I ask, hey, your event is during one of my events, let's figure something out. Oh, I'm not going to change this event, right? I've been doing this for 9 months. I'm not going to change this, but I'll do it for you, but you won't do it for me. It could be something small like that that's going to separate your top 5 from your top 50. So now that person just might be on, okay, well, you're a good person still. I'm just not going to bend over backwards anymore for you because you have shown your true colors to me. You cannot be in my pack if you don't have my back. Your pack, your group should have your back, should fight for you. If someone talks bad about you, your friends, your group should say, no. He or she is not that person. You are incorrect about that. They are this person, they are this person, they are this person, but they're not that. And I can attest to that. You're going to want people who are going to fight for you when you're not around, and you're going to want to have people who are going to speak about you in a positive manner to people who matter. That is going to be the best tribe you can ever have. Not saying that you can't have friends that just love and care for you and support you by buying you cake and ice cream, and I'm sure that's great, right? Live in your comfort zone and be happy. I'm talking about high achievers. The tune-up series is for people who have a strong mindset. So if you have a weak mindset, you are in your comfort zone. All right? Get out of it. Find people who are going to support you, who are going to help you get out of it. And it's not just money. It could be time. It could be just saying, hey, I can be your accountability partner. Hey, I can be there at your events. It could be whatever. Support is different for everyone. I want people to understand that. So we talked about, number one, why it's important to separate from your pack, because guess what? The answer is we don't know what type of pack that we have developed. Maybe it's just not good. It's a mishmash of people. I don't want to be going this way and this way and that way and that way. So you separate and you say, I'm going to form my own pack. So you separate and say, I'm going to form my own pack. But before you do that, you say, I'm going to first gain some power alone. I'm going to stack my arsenal, my war chest. What do I need to do? Do I need to get in better shape? Do I need to read more books? Do I need to get more education? Whatever. You stack your deck. And once your deck is stacked, then you find people who have their deck stacked too. We're not looking for people who don't even have a deck. If you're going to find people who don't have a deck, they're going to take from you. And the goal is to get you as far ahead as possible. And then at that point, when you're in a good place, when you're full, you can help everyone around you. You can help as many people as you want. There's no limit. But when you're building yourself up, there is a limit. That's the issue. That's where people don't understand. It's not selfish. There's a limit when you're building, but there's no limit when you're there. But we still should limit when we're there. All right. We don't just say, well, oh, you want $1,000? Here you go. We want give everyone $1,000. Eventually, at some point, maybe you need $1,000, and all the people you thought that were around you and that would support you because you supported them when they needed you are not there. We have to do our due diligence, and we have to know who is going to be for us and who is just using us. And then that leads us into the final step, right? What is the end result? The end result is the best version of you. The end result is the highest potential of you. I always tell people that we can get the most lofty goals that we have for ourselves. If you envision yourself to have a dream life, all this wonderful stuff, we can get there. But if you have the wrong people in your corner, then it's going to be even more difficult. And there's so many people who have mastermind groups right now. Like I'm sure if you go on LinkedIn, you're going to see everyone starting a mastermind group. It's like the new thing. Oh, they have a mastermind group for this? Oh, great. Oh, there's a mastermind group for this? Oh, great. They're extremely effective. But you do have to make sure that you are in a good mastermind group with the people that are going to be cohesive. Typically, it's not even going to be about people who have the same background. For example, I might not be in a background group of people who have a good mindset, like a mindset coach. I might be in a mastermind group of an accountant, of a manager of a company, of like a Fortune 500 company. I might have an entrepreneur who does sales and marketing, and then me as a mindset coach. That's the dream team. Everyone has their own respective niche, and everyone is going to be good in different things. Me in marketing, not the best. But when it comes to analytical, education, creation stuff, I'm your man. So other people might not be good in those areas, and what do? We trade. That's what we do. Hey, tell me what you need. Boom, 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 done. Because it's easy for me. Because that is where I'm good at. If you're not good at it, it takes you longer. It takes you twice as long or 3 times as long. And vice versa. Since I'm not the greatest at marketing, I might talk to that entrepreneur friend or that person in my mastermind group saying, hey, I'm trying to start this new program. What would be the best way for me to get that launched? Oh yeah, that's easy for me. I can do it in 1 day. Here's my cost, right? And it's discount too, maybe. Great, that sounds great. We are helping each other. Top 5. Your top 5 should feed off each other. If you have everyone just it's the same, right? It's going to be hard for people to get something from that group. So you need to have specialists is what I'm going to call them. Everyone has a specialty, right? Video games, for example, right? Whatever video game you play, there might be different classes in the game. So every class has a different skill or something like that. And then from there, you form a group. And with the different skills of the character that you picked, can make a good group or can make a group that's not good, right? So for example, if you have a group of attackers and no defenders, is that a good group? Maybe not, right? Because if the other team is balanced and you're not, you're like a glass cannon at that point. So yes, you can make great strides just all being attackers, but if you're mismatched against a team that knows how to get around that, it's not going to help. So I always tell people, make sure that you have a group that can specialize into their respective fields or majors or specialties. And then from there, that's how you build your tribe. It's not as easy as, okay, let me do this and I'm going to find the right people. You can join multiple mastermind groups and you probably might never get close to finding your top 5. I always say get a mentor or a coach at minimum. That mentor or coach is going to be one of your specialists, I can guarantee. Because if you vibe with a person, you're going to say, well, this is one of my people. And then from there, you just start adding people slowly. All right. There's no rush into trying to get your top 5 people. I don't want you to think that this is a race. Building your tribe can take time. Yes, we build our tribe in elementary school and middle school and high school and maybe even in college. But at some point, those groups or those tribes are no longer beneficial for where we want to go. Our paths change. You are not the same as you were 10 years ago. Heck, even 5 years ago. What you want is different most likely. What you think for your future might be different too. So sometimes you might be with a group of people and you go this way and they go that way and you say, thank you for the company along the way. And when you go that way, you get 4 new people or 9 new people or whatever. And then you build your own new group and you keep doing that until you finally get to the place that you want. And maybe some of the people that were in your old groups see where you are and they're like, oh my God, I want to be there too. They might call you or text you or email you saying, hey, tell me what you did. You can tell them. It's not a secret. You can even support them. Because if they make it, you now have another person in your tribe. You have another person in your pack that's going to help you. And not to say that they are going to have this feeling, but there's going to be a sense of, I owe you for helping me. You can go far with people like that. And in this blog, Tune Up Series Part 45, How to Separate from the Pack, we're not going to only teach you the importance of understanding why you have to separate from the pack, what you need to do when you're alone, how to form your pack, and then the end result is what we spoke about. You're going to learn so much more from reading this blog because this blog goes in depth. We go in depth in the podcast, but the blog gives you so much more. So I want people to recognize that we can do this by ourselves or we can do this together. As I said earlier, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And most people want to go fast in the beginning and they realize this is a lot of work. But then they realize they want to go far. How far can we go? How far can we challenge ourselves? It's going to depend on our mindset, but it's also going to depend on the mindset of the people around us. If you have someone who's not helping you, if you have someone who's being an anchor or being toxic or not being supportive in some manner, and I'm not even talking about that they're telling you the truth, that's a great person to have in your corner. Someone who's going to detract from your mission and goals. Those people need to be separated. They need to be excluded and outcast from that group, that tribe that you're building. The moment you start to get rid of the people that are the dead weights in your life, you're going to start to feel more free. Maybe you feel a little guilty in the beginning, but the end result is you're going to start to feel more free and you're going to start to see that you can do so much more because you don't have that voice in your head, that whisper that was telling you to stop or to slow down or to say that you're doing enough. You get to decide that for yourself. So if you want to achieve great things in your life, go for it. There should be no one stopping you and the people around you should be supporting that. So if you're by yourself right now and you need some support, head over to revenconcepts.com and we'll be more than happy to give you a team member that's going to help you along the way because you do need people to go far and we have those people here. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.